Drew Barrymore's life is a rich, complex narrative of early fame, personal hardship, and powerful reinvention. Born into one of the most famous acting dynasties in Hollywood history, Barrymore's path was paved with both golden opportunity and deeply entrenched challenges. Her story is not just that of a Hollywood star, but of a woman who rose from the ashes of childhood trauma and public scrutiny to become a beloved actress, producer, director, entrepreneur, and talk show host. Drew Barrymore was born on February 22, 1975, in Culver City, California, into the legendary Barrymore acting family. Her lineage traces back to some of the most revered figures in entertainment history. Her paternal grandfather, John Barrymore, was one of the most acclaimed actors of his time, and her great-uncle Lionel Barrymore and great-aunt Ethel Barrymore were also Oscar-winning performers. Drew's father, John Drew Barrymore, was an actor who struggled with addiction, and her mother, Jade Barrymore, born Ildiko Mako, was an aspiring actress of Hungarian descent. Drew's childhood was marked by instability, largely due to her father's absence and her mother's permissive parenting style. Drew would later describe herself as having been essentially raised by Hollywood, rather than by her parents. Barrymore began acting at a very young age, appearing in a dog food commercial when she was just 11 months old. At the age of 7, she catapulted to worldwide fame with her role as Gertie in Steven Spielberg's 1982 blockbuster, E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Her performance was both adorable and heartfelt, and she quickly became America's sweetheart. However, the pressures of fame and her mother's decision to immerse her in Hollywood's adult party scene led to troubling consequences. By the time Drew was 9 years old, she was a regular at Studio 54 and other nightclubs. By age 11, she was drinking alcohol. By 12, she was using cocaine, and by 13, she had attempted suicide and was institutionalized for 18 months in a rehab facility. Her struggles during these years were widely publicized. In her 1990 autobiography, Little Girl Lost, written when she was just 15, Drew candidly detailed her descent into addiction and her painful journey through rehab. After her release, she became emancipated from her mother at age 14, legally separating herself from her dysfunctional upbringing. The 1990s saw Drew Barrymore stage one of the most remarkable comebacks in Hollywood history. With a fierce determination to rebuild her career and life, she deliberately took roles that challenged her former image. She starred in provocative films like Poison Ivy, 1992, and Bad Girls, 1994, often embracing a rebellious persona. Her real turning point came with her role in The Wedding Singer, 1998, alongside Adam Sandler. The film was a hit and began a long-standing screen partnership between Barrymore and Sandler. She followed up with successful romantic comedies like Never Been Kissed, 1999, and 50 First Dates, 2004. In 1995, Barrymore co-founded Flower Films, a production company that gave her more control over her career. Under this banner, she produced and starred in several hit films, including The Charlie's Angels, 2000 franchise, and Donnie Darko, 2001. Flower Films not only elevated her status in Hollywood, but also gave her an opportunity to support other female-driven stories and empower women behind the scenes. Barrymore had truly become more than just an actress. She was a businesswoman and creative force. Barrymore made her directorial debut with Whip It, 2009, a coming-of-age film about a teenage girl who joins a roller derby team. The film received critical praise and showed Barrymore's eye for heartfelt, character-driven storytelling. In addition to acting and directing, she took on a variety of roles in television and streaming series, such as the dark comedy Santa Clarita Diet, 2017 to 2019, on Netflix, in which she played a suburban mum-turned-zombie. Arisina. Barrymore's personal life has been as public as her career. She has been married 3 times, first to Jeremy Thomas in 1994, marriage lasted 2 months, then to comedian Tom Green in 2001, and finally to art consultant Will Koppelman in 2012. She and Koppelman divorced in 2016, but co-parent their 2 daughters, Olive, born 2012, and Frankie, born 2014. Motherhood has been one of Barrymore's most cherished roles. She has often spoken about how having children helped her heal from her own turbulent childhood and gave her a chance to create the stable, loving home she never had. In 2020, Drew Barrymore launched her own daytime talk show, The Drew Barrymore Show. The program quickly became known for its warmth, positivity, and genuine emotion. It allowed her to connect with audiences on a more intimate level and show her real personality, funny, compassionate, and endlessly curious. The show reflects Barrymore's journey towards self-acceptance, gratitude, and healing. As she often says, she is a work in progress, and she uses her platform to highlight stories of transformation, resilience, and kindness. Beyond entertainment, Barrymore has also made her mark as an entrepreneur. Her lifestyle brand, Flower Beauty, offers affordable, cruelty-free cosmetics and has been widely praised for its inclusivity. She has also launched Flower Home and Beautiful by Drew, a line of home goods and kitchenware. Barrymore has authored several books, including her 2015 memoir Wildflower, which was a New York Times bestseller and offered a more mature and reflective look at her life's journey. Drew Barrymore's life story is not just one of survival, it's one of transformation and empowerment. From a child star almost destroyed by fame, to a self-made mogul and media personality, her journey has inspired millions. She remains a symbol of resilience, especially for those who have faced early trauma, addiction, or public scrutiny. Her openness about her struggles and triumphs has helped to destigmatize mental health issues and redefine what it means to grow up in the spotlight. Drew Barrymore's net worth is the result of a lifetime in the spotlight, strategic career choices, entrepreneurial ventures, and personal reinvention. As of 2025, her estimated net worth is $125 million, a testament to her long-standing success in Hollywood and her evolving career as a businesswoman, producer, director, and television host. Barrymore's financial story is not one of overnight riches or inherited wealth, despite her famous family name. It is instead a journey marked by early challenges, smart reinvestment of her earnings, brand building, and emotional and financial independence. Her net worth is woven into her personal growth and professional versatility. Drew Barrymore's financial journey began when she was still a toddler. Her first commercial, a spot for dog food, aired when she was just 11 months old. But her breakthrough and first major paycheck came from her role in E.T., the Extraterrestrial, 1982, directed by her godfather Steven Spielberg. Though the exact figure she earned for E.T. is not publicly disclosed, the film's massive global success turned her into one of the most recognizable child actors of her generation. Satem Mekin, the Mertolsakisig hierhin den Moss Hache. However, much of that early income was not preserved or managed wisely. During her troubled youth and teenage years, Barrymore's money was spent quickly, often during periods of substance abuse, and her finances were likely overseen by adults who didn't always have her best interest at heart. After her emancipation at age 14, she took control of her own finances, starting almost from scratch. Drew's resurgence in the 1990s marked a new financial chapter. She accepted roles that redefined her image, ranging from edgier independent films to major Hollywood productions. Though her acting salaries during this time were modest by A-list standards, she was consistent and versatile, starring in hits like The Wedding Singer, 1998, Never Been Kissed, 1999, Home Fries, 1998. These films not only brought in steady income, but also helped re-establish her market value as a leading actress in romantic comedies. In 1995, Barrymore made her most strategic financial decision by co-founding her production company, Flower Films, with her business partner, Nancy Uvonen. This move fundamentally changed her financial trajectory. With Flower Films, Barrymore was no longer just acting, she was producing, which meant she earned a share of the back-end profits and retained creative control. The company's first major hit was Never Been Kissed, followed by Charlie's Angels, 2000, Charlie's Angels, Full Throttle, 2003, 50 First Dates, 2004, He's Just Not That Into You, 2009. The Charlie's Angels franchise alone earned over $500 million globally, and Barrymore, who both starred in and co-produced the films, took home a substantial cut. She reportedly earned $9 million for Full Throttle, and additional profits from merchandising and syndication. Flower Films also produced cult classics like Donnie Darko, 2001, which Barrymore championed and helped distribute. The company became a steady source of income and gave her long-term financial control. In 2009, Barrymore directed Whip It, further solidifying her role behind the camera. Though the film was a modest box office success, it added to her credibility and earning power. She later expanded her flower brand into Flower Home, Furniture and Home Goods, Beautiful by Drew, Kitchenware and Home Appliances, in collaboration with Walmart. These product lines brought Barrymore into the lifestyle and homeware space, adding diversified revenue streams. Barrymore is also a published author, and her books, particularly the 2015 memoir Wildflower, became bestsellers. While book profits may not represent a major part of her net worth, they reflect her wide audience appeal. She has also endorsed brands like CoverGirl, Crocs, and Garnier, earning millions from long-term partnerships. Drew Barrymore has owned several homes throughout her life, often buying and selling high-end properties in California and New York. One notable property was a $6.35 million estate in the Hamptons. She also owns a charming home in the Hollywood Hills, which she frequently showcases on her talk show. Though she's never been flashy with real estate like some celebrities, Barrymore has made savvy property decisions, and her portfolio adds value to her overall wealth. Voice. Drew Barrymore is known for living a relatively modest lifestyle compared to many celebrities of her caliber. She often emphasizes simplicity and authenticity, especially for the sake of her daughters. She has donated to causes like World Food Programme, UNICEF, and COVID-19 relief efforts, and she supports mental health organizations due to her own past struggles. In many interviews, she describes wealth not just as money, but as freedom, peace, and balance, something she spent decades learning to achieve. Drew Barrymore's estimated $125 million net worth is more than the product of stardom. It is the result of resilience, reinvention, and smart ownership. From her early fame and personal crises, to her rebirth as a media mogul and brand creator, Barrymore turned the challenges of her youth into the foundation of her fortune. Her financial legacy is inseparable from her emotional and creative journey, a story not only of surviving Hollywood but mastering it on her own terms.